Hello, welcome everyone. Congratulations, you have found the first podcast of Sarah's Do Good Crochet. I am coming to you from Alaska. I live in Wasilla. It's in the south central portion of Alaska. I'm about 2 hours out from Anchorage. And I love to crochet. Now, Do Good Crochet, what's that title mean? It is from one of my favorite verses, which is found in Galatians in the Bible, Galatians 6:10. As every opportunity you have, do good unto all men, especially of those of the household of faith. And I hope this can do you some good. Sometimes with work, with school, with family, we just need some time to relax and take some time for ourselves. So grab your coffee, your tea, and let's talk crochet. I hope you've all been doing well. I can't wait to show you what I have been doing. I became a crocheter because I found out I was going to be a mom. The kids make us do all kinds of things. Let me tell you, I was 27 and I found out I was going to be a mother, and I was very, very excited. I'm a gamer though. I game very intensely still. I mean, everything from Bloodborne to Stardew Valley, I love it. But I had a friend who told me, he goes, why don't you try crochet? Because when you play a game, you can't, I get platinum trophies, but, you can't actually hold that in your hand. He goes, why don't you try crochet? Because when you finish a product, it feels great. And I went, well, maybe I will. And I ended up actually learning a week later. I learned through my mother-in-law, who knew how to crochet. She also knows how to knit. She does beautiful doilies. At my ladies' Bible study, they had just gotten in a whole basket of yarn and hooks, and they were wonderful. And they told me, they showed me how to do it, and from that, I got my first baby blanket. So I haven't been doing this since I was 6. I've been doing this really since I was 27. I've been doing this now for about 10 years. So the first thing I would like to show you is my sweater. And it's beautiful, 100% wool. And I haven't taken the ribbon off. I can't get over it yet. I submitted this sweater in the Alaska State Fair, and I came in 3rd place. And I was tickled pink. I'm like, yay! So this sweater is called the Edison Pullover. It is a pattern from Expression Fiber Arts, and they are wonderful. I highly recommend all of you, if you knit, crochet, you've got to go over there. They are just fantastic. And you go there to dream, wish list, and drool. It's just, they only make beautiful things, and they do great patterns. Get on their mailing list. They're fantastic because they give you a free crochet and knit pattern every Friday. And I love getting the free patterns. And of course, they discount the yarn that you would need to go with the project. But they do have all kinds of free patterns apart from the ones that they give you. And this is the Edison Pullover. I think this is one of the free patterns. And she uses the DK weight yarn. Now, I think she was thinking of it kind of like a t-shirt, because the yarn was this beautiful blue gradient. It was gorgeous. But she had it where you could do it cropped, like a t-shirt. Or if you wanted to do it, longer, you could do it longer. Well, Expression Fiber Arts does beautiful things, but holy cow, the price tag. And I'm going, I can't quite afford that, but I love the pattern. It's very simple. Single crochets, and then you end with half doubles around the neck and the sleeves at the bottom. So very simple. The only thing that was tricky was making sure that it continues, the color change all the way across, making sure, meticulously measuring. And I couldn't afford it. I was like, you know what, maybe, I know what I'll do. I will pick a wool that I know is the same, the same weight, and I'll buy a sweater quantity, and I'll do this up. So I used Cascades 220 Superwash, 100% wool. And I did it in the DK weight. And it's wonderful yarn. It was fun to work with. And it was It's squishy, stretch. It feels great. It just needs to get a little bit cooler, and I can't wait to wear this. So what's wonderful is it's done. I know it works, and maybe at Christmas or my birthday, I can get Expression Fiber Arts yarn and do it up. I mean, you wouldn't even have to do a color gradient, you know. It could just be one solid color, and it would be beautiful. So that is my sweater. From light, dark, to even darker, and a nice dark charcoal gray. My Edison Pullover. Love it. So that's my first finished object. Now my second finished object is a shawl. Once I was done with the sweater, I was like, okay, I want to get small stuff. Got to get stuff done. And I made a shawl. It's called the Boho Shawl. Let me back up a little bit so you can see it all the way. Isn't that gorgeous? All trebles, all of it. Now, this is another Expression Fiber Arts pattern. No, they're not my sponsor. That would be amazing, though. But this is another Expression Fiber Arts pattern, and it's boho. And they even say this is like for your adventurous beginners. It's trebles, and it's a 4-row pattern, where you do your foundation row, and then you repeat rows 2, 3, and 4 over and over and over until it's as big as you want. Now, the yardage that you would need for fingering weight is about, I think, a little over 800 yards, and you'd hold it double. Or you could do a worsted weight held single, and then you need only 400 yards. Well, I went, how about both? So I went through my stash, and this gray gradient, I love it. This gray is a yarn done by Dancing Skies. Dancing Skies, she, I actually don't know the lady's name, but her yarn that she does, that she hand dyes, she's called Dancing Skies. And she does gorgeous yarn. Beautiful hand dyed. There's a shop in Wasilla called Fiber and Ice, and a lot of her yarns are sold there. And let me tell you, this is how good her yarn is. You could go to the wall of Dancing Skies and, you know, make sure you're positioned right for your worsted or your bulky or your fingering. Okay. Then close your eyes and just grab, because all of her yarn is beautiful. It's just beautiful. And she's also usually at our fiber festivals and usually at the state fair. Well, not this summer, but last summer I saw her and I saw the gray and I fell in love. I'm like, ooh, that's great. And I picked like a yellowish gold that she had, and I bought the two thinking I'm going to do a really nice shawl that contrasts gray and gold. It's going to be beautiful. And that didn't happen. You know what happens? You buy this yarn and it sits there and it's waiting and waiting. And it was waiting for a long time. And then this summer, I went back to the state fair and I saw she had a gradient set. Now, I don't know if you can really see it, but there's like greens and blues in there. And there's like this gray. It's thinner than the other, but it has like almost like a purple sheen to it. And then at the very bottom here, it's yellows with like little bits of pink. And to me, those were very spring colors. And they were a fingering, like a mini set that she had. And I went, oh, that's beautiful. And I went, wait a minute, what if I put the two together? I'll just use as much of the gray as I can, much as the gray, and then add. My children were like, Mommy, the gray looks beautiful. You should just keep it. I went, yeah, it's very nice. But let's see if we add the colors. And, oh, it was beautiful. And it does have in the pattern where you can tie the strings off at the end and you can have the strings like, you know, dangling from it. But that's not really my style. But, oh, it's nice and light. My son is here in the peripheral. He's been very quiet because he's wanting to take pictures. Hi, Henry. Bye, Henry. That's my youngest.
Taking pictures.
That's my baby.
Okay.
So,
Come on.
that's my baby. He's doomed for the rest of his life. So, this is my shawl, and I love it. And it's nice and light. It's great for in transition times. Also, you know, you can wear it. I could wrap it around, or I could wrap it up front like this. It drapes nice, and there's enough in the back that it will hold. I could wear it like this. Look lovely. But I love this. It's very nice. I was wearing this every chance I could. I love it. Now, my last finished object that I get to show you is my cowl. Now, I mentioned a store called Fiber and Ice, and I got to give a shout out. I said I would. Again, not sponsored, but I adore her yarn and I adore her stuff. But in Wasilla, we have a store called Fiber and Ice. It's run by a lady named Denise Morrison. She is a dyer here in the valley, and she does gorgeous yarns. I have a lot of her yarns, actually. And she does, I love what she does. What she'll do, she has her yarns that she knows work, the dyes work. So she's got her usual colors that she keeps in. But then she does like her one pot yarns. And she'll just go, let's have some fun. And she'll put the colors in and we'll see what happens. And let's see. Well, this is one of her one pots. And this yarn was in her, she's got like a stash of like a bin of like the odds and ends and the discounted stuff she doesn't quite know where to put. And I saw it and I went, oh, that must be mine. How much do you want for it? And she gave me it at a very, very generous price because all I saw on it was, I think it was like 360 yards and silk. So I think she did a silk wool blend, but I knew I had enough for a cowl. Now, the pattern, isn't that beautiful? This is a shout out for my Graham. Graham, isn't this color gorgeous? I hope it shows up well in the camera because let me tell you, it's our turbonium green. It's the happiest green in the world. It's my favorite color. I love this color. It makes me very happy. And the way she did it is that she hand spun this yarn, and then she did this, and then she did the other half just in the variegated colors. It's gorgeous. And it's silk and probably wool. And oh my. Now the pattern is, I believe it's bubbly. And it's an Expression Fiber Arts pattern. And when I looked it up, it was amazing because it was this cowl that you could layer. It was huge. It called for like 900 yards of yarn. And you could literally layer it on 3 times and your neck would be nice and cozied with these beautiful bubble stitches. It was gorgeous. I'm going to make it. But this is not 900 yards. And I went, well, I have enough probably to do a single cowl. Let's see how far we get. Well, I think it came out gorgeous. It feels beautiful on my neck. I mean, who doesn't want silk on their neck? It feels great. Simple pattern. So you do so many chains. Make sure you don't twist. And you do a chain, and then you join them together. And then this is the pattern. Single, double, treble, double, single, repeat. That's it. And then you join up, and then you need to have a marker to mark where the beginning of your round is, and then you just move your marker up until it's all gone. And I got a fair amount here. So very simple pattern. I cannot wait to make the triple version of this. I almost want to call this my Frankenstein monster shawl because of the green and just the yarn wasn't always, since it was hand spun, it wasn't always, spun the same way. Like sometimes the yarn would be very, very, like the plies were very narrow to go together, and then they would brush out a bit, and they would narrow up quite a bit. I tried to use like a 4mm hook, and that didn't quite work. So I went up to 5mm H, and it worked out great. I didn't have any snags. I didn't have any, where it was, snagging the yarn or making it come apart. It just came out great. And now I just need a lime trench coat to go with it. But I wear my green shirts, and it's wonderful. I wore it yesterday. It's not even particularly cold for Alaska yet. You know, we're coming into our fall. But I just wanted to say, look, something's done. Yay! So that is it for finished objects. I didn't want to start a podcast until I had something to show you. And that is everything that I have finished. Now, what am I working on? I'm working on a million things. There's the stuff that you're currently working on, and then there's the deep dive where the stash is, and we don't talk about the stash. We're going to kill that beast very slowly and surely, but not today. So the next thing I want to show you is what I'm working on. Something I have always wanted to do, and it's a work in progress, let me tell you, because I've done slippers. My husband liked the slippers I made him. And I've done slippers as gifts, but one thing I've wanted to do is socks. I have always wanted to do socks and to do them right. And, knitters have a good bit on their side. They have knitted socks. They have knitted sweaters, especially when it comes to Fair Isle and the Gansey sweater. They've got that. And crocheters, well, what do we have? Well, we have the almighty Granny Square. Obviously, I can crochet sweaters up, and we have amigurumi. But I really, really wanted to do socks. There had to be a sock out there that could work. And I think I have found it in this pattern. It's over at the Crochet Project. I look at a lot of stuff from the UK. Some of my favorite podcasters are from the UK. I love Lulu Loves, Cherry Heart, Betsy Makes. I miss you, Betsy Makes. Please come back. Allison's Crochet Channel. We So-and-so. I love all of them. You are all wonderful. And I love Crochet Project. They make things seem so easy. And this pattern, guys, is really, really great. You need to go over and get it. If you're in the UK, you can get the booklet. But for over us here in the US, it's a lot easier just to download it. We can print it ourselves. So this is the Riley and Saunders sock. This is a bargain because you get 2 sock patterns. And they're for the entire family. And right now, I'm working on Riley's. And it doesn't look like much because it's in black and white. But it's a basic, if you're using 4-ply weight, you can use a 4-ply weight, a sock fingering weight, and you can make this sock. And this pattern is fantastic. It tells you how to size for the entire family. You can go all the way from baby to adult men. It tells you how, when to start, how to figure out how much of the foot before you go to the toe. It does all of that. It's wonderful. So I knew I wanted to use Denise's yarn. I love her yarn, and every summer we have a fiber festival, Alaska Fiber Festival. I wasn't able to go this year between family, new dog, rain constantly. I wasn't able to go. But shortly after the Fiber Festival was over, I was able to go to Denise's shop, Fiber and Ice. And she had done a new colorway that she had featured at the Fiber Festival. Now, she had sold out of all the bulky, but she had a sample. And I fell in love. I went, okay, this may be your best colorway yet, and you just need to do more of this. I love this color. Look at this. It's her new moon colorway. No, red moon. I'm sorry. Her red moon colorway. It's a sock yarn, and it's 80% merino, 20% nylon. 100 grams to 450 yards. You get a good amount. And let me show you my sock. I have started. I'm so excited. Oh, here it is. There it is. Isn't it pretty? Isn't that nice? And what's really great is that this doesn't just use, I have a very, very small, cuff up here, very, very small, and then it goes out into my heel, and then here on my foot. I'm about to finish my foot and start going into the toe. As big as it looks, it fits me. I don't have a small foot. I'm a 9.5 wide girl. I don't have small feet, but this fits really nice. I thought about, I want these I want a sock that fits into my sneakers. And then I saw this yarn. I'm like, I don't want this in my sneakers. No one's going to see the sock. So this is definitely going to probably end up being house slippers. And then when I do the Saunders sock, because the Saunders sock is exactly the same pattern, but in a worsted weight. And so it'll be able to go into my winter boots just fine. But what's wonderful about this pattern is that, most of the time when you're doing socks, or you'll do, single crochet around and around and around until you've got your foot, This is different. This does a ripple stitch. It does 3 single crochets per stitch as you go around. So it creates that's why you have that lovely ripple effect. And it allows your foot to, the breathing room, it'll stretch out and accommodate your foot. I look forward to trying the next size down just to see maybe if it'll fit me maybe a little snugger, or maybe even for my daughter. Everyone in the family is getting these. It was a fun pattern. My daughter is very excited over here. She's being very good. Thank you, sweetie, as she watches. But this is what it looks like. And hopefully the next time I see you, I'll get to show you 2 pair on my feet. But yeah, I love this colorway. I am hoping that Denise will dye up more in the bulky, because I must have a hat to go with my socks. So those are my Riling and Saunders socks that I am working on. Now, the last thing that I am going to show you is going to be a shawl. Now, I got, goodness, do I even have it over here? Yes, I do. I am making the 6 Wives Shawl. Now, I originally saw the 6 Wives Shawl Potter and Bloom. It's a Potter and Bloom pattern. And I want to say I first saw it on the Potter and Bloom podcast, but I also saw when Betsy Makes was doing her own 6 Wives Shawl. Sadly, the pattern again is in black and white. But the 6 Wives Shawl is a pattern that showcases, it's a wonderful way to showcase a main skein of yarn and a mini set. But it shows the 6 wives of Henry VIII, and each color is picked with, with a wife in mind. And I thought, what's better than, just this black and white? I'll show you the 6 Wives Shawl I made myself. Again, this was yarn that Denise did. This is my 6 wives. You start very, very, very tiny, and it gets wider and wider and wider, and you use up the entire main color, and then you stripe the remaining. So this is my Catherine and my
Catherine Howard.
No. Hush. This is my Catherine, the original Catherine. And here we have the fiery Anne Boleyn. I just want to make sure I get my names all right, but I'm pretty sure I do remember. This is my passionate Anne Boleyn. Here is our Jane Seymour. She was the only queen who was able, I believe, to give Henry a son, so she had to be this beautiful blue. Anne of Cleves, the wild card queen. She later, when I think they were annulled, there was an annulment, but this was she was definitely the wild card. She later got the status of the sister to the king status, so she's the wild card. Then Catherine Howard, who sadly was very young, so I picked yellow. She's the golden beauty, the youthful queen, cut off too short. And finally, Catherine Parr, green. She outlived Henry, and she was allowed to grow and flourish, so she is green. So that is the 6 Wives Shawl. I am making this for a dear friend of mine. Don't tell her. And I'm not thinking of it so much for the wives, but this is done. This is gorgeous yarn. This is done by a group of group of dyers called Knit 3 Tog. I'll put their description. They are 3 teachers who hand dye in Alaska. They do gorgeous work, and I bought this at the Fiber Festival last year. And this is their Fireweed Fade. I believe I have I believe I have the card around here so I can give you the information. If not, I'll tell you about it later. But this is the Fireweed Fade, and this is going to be the main color. And it's getting there. It's going to be a long time. I've got to get through all of this, which is going to be pretty stinking wide. And then it'll end. Oh my goodness, where did they go? Oh, there they are, the snakes. And this is the colors that I'm going to match with it. These beautiful colors. So Fireweed Fade. Fireweed is a blossom that is very common up here in Alaska during the summer. And these are Alaskan wildflower colors. So I will stripe those in afterwards. These are fingering. 75% superwash merino to 25 nylon. So it'll have strength and it will stay. So this is what I'm going to stripe together. So knit 3 tog, hand-dyed yarns. And they are in Palmer, one town over. They are also amazing. You should definitely check them out. So not much to see here, but it's going to be beautiful. I know it is because I've seen what it'll look like in mine. It's going to look gorgeous for my friend, and I hope she loves it when she gets it. So that's all I have to share for now. I've also got a sweater going. I'll tell you the story the next time I see you, and hopefully I'll have more than ribbing done, but I'm going to be working on a sweater for my husband. And I guess I'll talk to you guys later about that. So definitely more things to come. Let me know in the comments if there's any questions you have about anything I am making. I am a gamer. If you have questions, let me know if you'd like to hear about that. But I hope to see you soon, maybe in 2 weeks' time. Bye.